Hey, what's up, guys? We're back for our Bitcoin and Ethereum deep dive, and as usual, we're going to start on Bitstamp on the monthly time frame. And if you watched the last video, as we pointed out, that Bitcoin is in a monthly uptrend as long as the candle close holds this 12-period exponential moving average. So you can see that price got back down to this 12 EMA is currently reversed. It does look like the top is in, and we are certainly going to be having some monthly consolidation here. Now, if we look left for clues, we had 3 months of consolidation before a bullish move up. So the big question is going to be is how does this month close out? Are we going to hold the 12-period exponential moving average on during the month of December on a candle closing basis? And things I pointed out before, if you watched the last video, some red flags were the higher high, bearishly divergent RSI. The MACD was looking a little bearish as the histogram was ticking down. So these are all things, if you want to watch the last video, it's not a bad video to watch to get kind of caught up to speed with what we were looking at with Bitcoin, right? So let's go ahead and zoom in to the 4-hour time frame and keep things as simple as possible. Now, with the benefit of hindsight, we could see, and how many times have I said that the 4-hour 200 determines bull and bear markets? And once we lost the 4-hour 200 EMA, all price did was reject from it, right? And I was anticipating this low to hold and a lower high to print before we continued to bearish price action. What did catch me by surprise is that we didn't even get above the 4-hour 200 EMA and then pulled back, right? So let's go ahead and look. Let's start on the daily time frame. Let's go to Coinbase. Let's see, my drawings might be crazy here. Okay, so the weekly levels are in yellow and the daily levels are in white. But we always look left for clues, right? And what December 4th reminded me of was May 19th, right? So let's go back and look at May 19th and what happened on May 19th. On May 19th, we had a single daily candle pull back 31%. So let's go look at what happened on December 4th. December 4th, how bearish was it in comparison to May 19th? Now, 16%. However, the way that the time went, and the fact that the day had flipped, really, I think a more accurate comparison would be to these previous 2 days together, which was 22%, right? So now that we've pulled back, I mean, we've pretty much lost all of the bullish arguments. And like I said in the last video, that I thought it was much more likely the highs were in for the year, and that we were going to begin daily and weekly consolidation and pull back, right? So after the big bear dip in May 19th, we printed a pivot low, right? Let's go ahead and mark this. Let's go ahead and mark this in white. We printed a pivot low of exactly $30,000, right? And how long did it take for this to play out before we had bullish price action? So here was May 19th. It took on the daily time frame a full 62 days or 2 months to play out prior to us getting any kind of bullish activity, right? So the point I'm trying to make, you can see that we made a low and we rejected off the daily 200 and then made a wick lower low and then a candle closed lower low, all on bullishly divergent on the daily time frame. So this daily time frame relative strength's going up as the price on a candle close, these are the candle close basis, is going down. So all these candles are closing more bearishly over the course of 60 days, and we finally print a daily actual pivot low, right? So I think what's going to play out this time is going to be similar to the last time, where Bitcoin's probably going to get boring for 30 to 60 days. And what's going to be interesting to me is how long does this pivot low hold, right? So we get a pivot low right now at $45,511. I still hear people talking about how they anticipate, these YouTubers anticipate 100,000 Bitcoin by the end of December. Guys, that is really, really, really unrealistic in my opinion, right? So one argument you could make is that we held the weekly level at 39,600, and this is technically on a daily time frame a higher low, or potentially even if you want to go to the weekly time frame. So here's your weekly low, here's your weekly higher low, and if this pivot holds, we have yet another weekly higher low. But realistically speaking, this is going to take time to play out, just like here. This took 60 days. And after this pullback, what did this take? 30 days? Let's check this one out. So here was the high. Yeah, and it took, well, depending on how you want to look at it, let's look at the daily time frame. Let's see exactly how many days this took to play out from the high to the low was 22 days. So I think, best case scenario for the bulls here would be 22 days to play out. More than likely, it could take up to 60 days or somewhere in between, right, guys? So if you want to keep things super simple, what I'm doing right now is just kind of focus on the 4-hour time frame, kind of stay on the 4-hour time frame, don't zoom in too much. And the first thing we need to see is if these pivot lows hold. All right, so let's go ahead and change our chart. We have the current pivot low at $45,111. And why do I recall this going much lower on Binance? Let me check out Binance here. Oh wow. Okay, so I do remember this going much. So this is crazy. On Binance, look at where this broke. Wow, that's a huge difference. That's a $3,000 difference. I did not catch that till just now, but nonetheless, you still print a higher low versus the previous weekly low at 39,600. So on Binance, $42,000, guys. Wow, that is $42,000 low on Binance. Let me look at. I got to look at this one more time to believe this. Coinbase was $45,111. What was Bitstamp? Wow, these exchanges are really different. And Bitstamp went even lower, $41,967, broke $42,000, guys. It's crazy how different these exchanges are. And I do think that the reason that so many people are margin trading or leverage trading is causing these, much more volatile moves than you may normally see. But let's go ahead. Geez, what chart do we use here? I'm using the Binance chart the most. So let's go ahead and mark that one up. And let's go ahead. This is the chart we've been using the most, and we have lost pretty much all the bullish arguments to have the pipe dream that the price is going to hit 100K by the end of the year. So we have to first identify our trading range to see how we're going to work this. So on the daily time frame, our low is going to be 42K. I'm going to use this as our prior daily high, right? So all my Fibonacci are going to swing from high to low from this level. So if I'm going to do any fibs on a bounce, I'm going to swing from here to here. Let's go to our isolated range. Fib ISO, where are you at? Okay. And so we want to see, now this is certainly, like, this bull wick is unbelievable here. So, I mean, if you want to have a point to the bulls, I mean, this reversal is 17%. So from the low to the candle close on the day is 17%, which is probably, I mean, but you can look at when did this bear dip happen. This bear dip happened, that bear dip happened, 5 hours after the daily candle closed. So you had 19 hours of price action afterwards. So that's why potentially why that wick is so big. And if we look at May 19th, let's go ahead and compare. Like we always look left for clues. The bull wick on May 19th was 22%. So 22%, what did I say this one was? 17%. So pretty impressive reversal at the lows. And so my trading range right now is going to be $59,176 down to $42,000 flat is my trading range on Bitcoin. And like we saw back here, back in mid-September, and like we saw for 60 days starting on May 19th all the way to July 21st, I think we're going to get some price discovery on the lows, on the mid and higher time ranges. We need to be patient. And if you're only spot trading, you can only trade bullishly if you're not derivatives trading. I would anticipate some price discovery at these lows before we go to potentially push up, right? So to keep things simple, my advice would be focus on the 4-hour time frame, right? Right now, and focus on the candle close. Right now, we've got a candle close low on the 4-hour time frame of $46,489. Let me make that skinnier so it stands out a little bit. And then we've got the current high on Bitcoin at 49,966. And I certainly would not be surprised to pull back and retest these lows. Now, what I would anticipate is that the pivot low will hold at least for a period of time, if not hold for a sort of mid-range. I mean, this could hold for months. If we look left again, the pivot low, the original pivot low held until June 22nd. So how many days is that? So the last time this happened in May 19th, the pivot low held for 34 days, right? So I think that that is certainly a possibility with seeing how far down the pivot is. Now, while I'm thinking about it, the fact that the price did not push up first. So a lot of, this is bearish, don't get me wrong. But what I would have thought would have been more bearish, which is sort of counterintuitive, is you get sort of this inverse head and shoulder style pattern, a bull break, resetting the technicals prior to the bear dip. So if the relative strength was able to push up, it gives you more room to push down, right? So the fact that we bearishly ground against the 4-hour 200 EMA and ripped bearishly, I think that gives you a greater chance that the pivot low is in for now, as opposed to, let's go take a look at the past. We did have an oversold bounce prior to the bear dip, right? So to me, you get a bigger flush down because we had the all-time high, the low, and then this resets the technicals with the lower high getting above the 4-hour 200. So, this back here in May, we got above the 4-hour 200, reloaded the relative strength, reloaded the bearish gas tank, and then had a major move down, right? Give us much more of a bearish thrust to the downside. And let's go ahead and measure the actual size of the move. This may illustrate my point. So this entire move was 49% down, right? So this move bearishly cooled off the technicals, putting more relative strength gas in the bear tank, right? Or what we have differently this time is we never pushed above the 4-hour 200. And let's see, and hopefully I'm making myself clear when I'm talking about here. This move was 28%. So about half the loss of price, 49% versus 28%. And I think this move was more shallow than it would have been if we had pushed up and printed a lower high and then pulled back, right? So before we forget, let's look at the strength trading system. When we were holding the 12 period 200, the 12-hour 200 price had just wicked below that level. We were getting 12-hour 200 support. In my last video, I mentioned the daily 200 and to look for, is price going to bear dip to the daily 200 or get a lower high print? And what happened? Once we violated the 12-hour 200, we should learn from our mistakes. I should know to click out a level with the strength trading system. And so what I mean is we're on the day, we lose the daily 200. This should be the instant clue that on my pullback, I'm sorry, this is the 12-hour 200. We broke below the 12-hour 200. This should be my clue to click out a level. And I should have been looking at the daily 200, and the daily 200 was the wick low, right? So if the 12-hour had held, then we click out to the daily and anticipate the daily to hold. But because we cracked the ice on the 12-hour 200, we should know to click out one more level past the daily and anticipate that be the low. And that was something that I had an oversight on prior to this bear pullback, right? So let's go ahead and look at what is my game plan and what am I doing on all these coins. I am identifying my trading range on the 4-hour time frame, the high, the low, marking the pivot low, marking the pivot high as we did here. Right? Let's go ahead and erase this. I'm doing my Fibonacci retracement to get my levels. So on Bitcoin, my trading range is 59,176 to $42,000. We're swinging high to low on a fib to get our levels on any kind of bullish bounce on the 4-hour time frame. And then for my day trading, and I am longing and shorting these coins constantly, I'm zooming into the 15-minute, and you can see that price hasn't even gotten above the 15-minute time frame. And I am swinging from low to high with a Fibonacci retracement using the pivot low to the pivot high and looking at my retracements here. So what kind of information can we get? Well, first of all, we can see Bitcoin has yet to get above the 10-minute 200. The 10-minute 200 is bearishly rejecting the price. This far in, and with the relative strength being below 63% here, I think that this is more likely to pull back and retest, at least pull back to retest, maybe not all the way to the lows, but pull back further before we break up. And let's go ahead and look at our drawings, and we're going to get a lot of information from the pullback here. So let's go to the 15-minute, and on the pullback, the levels we're going to be looking at, the 38% retracement. So if we pull back and hold $46,744, we are likely to continue to have bullish continuation, right? If the price pulls back in the first pullback to the 50% retracement or lower, we are likely to have a shorter term time frame equilibrium, right? So let's go ahead and visualize this. If the 38% retracement holds, we pull back and hold, we're likely to break the 10-minute 200 and continue to higher highs, and you're going to click out, right? You're going to click out to the 30-minute, to the 1 hour. Look at how high the 1 hour 200 EMA is, and the 1 hour 200 EMA is currently confluent with the golden pocket range right here, right? So if we hold this 38% retracement, we could be targeting potentially the 1 hour 200 around $52,500, which will probably be confluent, visually speaking, once price gets up there, if we get up there, right? So let's go ahead and erase that. Let's go back to the 15-minute time frame. So we need a pullback to get some clues as to what's going to happen. So the further we pull back, the less likely we're going to have bullish continuation in the short term, right? So here's your golden pocket range here. And you guys know my most bearish target on this pullback, because I do think the pivot lows are going to hold for the time being, would be $42,931 is going to be my most bearish target on my short positions. And I am currently short Bitcoin, ENS, DOT, Ethereum, big short on Ethereum, Litecoin, big short on Litecoin, Shib, and enTHUZed. And I am long on some of these as well, right? But focusing on the short side, using stops on the long side potentially, and not using stops on the short side, because things are certainly bearish, because we know the 4 hour 200 EMA defines bull and bear markets, and anytime price is residing below the 4 hour 200, all of our 200 EMAs are resistance levels, such as the 10-minute 200 is our current resistance level on Bitcoin. Wow, I have gone through a lot of time in this video, or a lot of things in a short period of time, and I'll have a few minutes left. So what we need to see is the pullback. Potentially the 10-minute 200 is going to continue to be a resistance. We need to see the pullback. If we hold the 38% retracement, we know we're going to get bullish continuation. It's more likely if we pull back further. I do expect the pivot lows to hold at $42,000, especially in the short term. We've only got 3 minutes left. So let's take a quick look at Ethereum. Let's go to the daily time frame. And as usual, Ethereum is very different from Bitcoin. And Ethereum still holding the daily 200, right? Bitcoin went down to the 2-day 200. So Bitcoin went all the way down here. Ethereum held the daily 200. Let's check the 12-hour. On a candle closing basis, Bitcoin held the 12-hour 200. That would have been a good place to potentially long, right? So let's go ahead and mark our resistance on the daily time frame and support levels. See if we can do this quickly. So here's the wick low at $3,575. Your high, let's simplify this. Your high is going to be right here at $4,784. Right, let's go ahead and zoom into the 4 hour time frame. So that's my trading range, $4,784 to $3,575, right? Let's go ahead and do our Fibonacci retracement. We're going to swing. Now, if you want to be conservative, you could pick this pivot as well. I wouldn't have a problem with that. So let's be conservative. Let's use this pivot, swing high to low. And then my most bullish target is going to be this 88% retracement right here on a long position. And we're going to zoom into the 15-minute time frame and swing low to high, and we're going to get information. Let me delete this on the pullback. So basically, it is a mark your levels, right? Mark your Fibonacci levels, mark your trading ranges, and wait and see where the pullback is. I think Ethereum got rejected. Was it at 21? The 21-minute exponential moving average rejected the Bitcoin, the Ethereum price. So Ethereum is way more bullish again than Bitcoin in the short term. 21 EMA is your dynamic resistance level. We can see on Bitcoin where the 21 EMA is way above price up here. And if you want to visualize the 10-minute 200, Ethereum got above the 10-minute 200. So I would trade on the relevant time frame, the 21-minute on Ethereum. And there again, here's your 38% retracement. So if we want to mark our line in the sand, the first level to watch on a pullback is $3,996 or $4,000 psychological. So if Ethereum can hold this level, right, we are likely to get bullish continuation, and I would click out to potentially the 1 hour and see if we get above the golden pocket range. My most bullish long targets right now are the 78% retracement and 88.6% retracement. Well, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you guys like my channel, want to support my content, please check out my links below. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you all on the next one.